All right. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me clearly? Is there disturbance in the background? Okay, great. So hi, welcome to the first of many webinars to come on the theme of Level Up with Glific, where we'll be taking you through features and other things you can kind of explore, use, people you can interact with maybe to kind of improve your Glific chatbot program. And so with that, we are going to start today. Before we start, just two things, right? One is if each of you could just rename yourselves and put your organization name in brackets next to your name, that will be helpful. Though we're a small group and we do know everyone, it'll still be helpful for you all to know each other. And the second thing is that while you all are doing that, I'm also going to just throw up a poll which if you all could answer in the next minute, that would be great. You should be able to see it on your screen now. Is it visible? Great. Okay, that's everyone. Thank you. Just great. Thanks for that. And I think with that, we can get started. Let me just share my screen. Vani, Amit, and Swati, if you could just put your organization names in brackets by renaming yourself, that will be great. So here we go. Give me a second. Can you see my screen? Great. All right. So today we're going to take you through A/B testing and how it can help your program. And this is essentially, we accomplish A/B testing using the split randomly node. And what it enables you to do is these two things, right? Broadly, it allows you to test different designs or different flow designs and test this with your users to understand their user behavior, right? Once you run this test, kind of the aim is for you to analyze the data that comes in, right? Like which users are responding with the desired behavior in which versions or which designs of your flow. And using A/B testing, we're able to do that. So with that, I just kind of want to ground this in a real case. And so we'll start with this use case, right? The use case is that you have a video that you're sharing, but users are not giving you the desired response to the video, right? So what do you do? If anyone would like to kind of venture a guess or just let us know what you would do at your org if this was the case, right? There's a video that people aren't responding to, what do you do? Just unmute and go ahead.
I think I tried in a different format. That's one. And two, I would see if some of my users are responding to it, some of them are not. Then I see if I can talk to these users and get some feedback. Yeah.
Great. Thanks. That was Sheetal, right?
Yes.
Thanks, Sheetal. So, okay, so try a different format and then check with users, you know, what they like, what they didn't like about it. Anyone else? Anything else? Cool. Go ahead, Anurag.
Possibly share reminder nudges.
Okay, so that's your solutioning there, right? Okay, so we'll put those two together. Sheetal said that she tried a different format and then check with users, you know, are they liking that format? Are they not liking that format? With the previous format, what did they like or not like? And Anuradha, that was, I think, suggested that we send reminder nudges, right? So what we've essentially done is we've identified the problem, which is here. which is that they're not responding the way I want them to respond, right? One solution that Sheetal came up with was, hey, let's try a different format of video, or maybe not a video, maybe something else altogether, right? And then find out what people's responses to that are. Anuradha's idea was that maybe they just need a reminder. And so I'll send a reminder, and maybe then they'll actually watch the video, maybe they're not watching it, and they'll respond positively, right? And so to do either of these things, to be able to check either of these things in a data-driven way, we use A/B testing, right? And broadly, these are the steps that you need to follow when you're doing A/B testing, right? So first, why and what you are testing, right? So which we've just discussed, right? Why we're testing, because we're not getting the desired response. What we're testing, in one case, in the example Sheetal gave us, we're testing what format is better. In the example Anuradha gave us, we would be testing, do people just need a nudge, right? So you need to identify why you're testing, what you're testing, and then you would need to think of, who do I want to test this with, right? So like Sheetal said, I checked with a few people. So who are those people you want to check with? Or what's the group of people you want to send the new format to and get insights from? So that's step one, very, very important step. Following which, what we'll do is we'll design the alternate flow, right? So we have our default flow in which there's the video that no one's responding to favorably. And then there's the alternate flow where maybe we're sending a reminder, or there's a different kind of video, or there's a voice note or something. Once we design the flow, super important step is that we make the outcomes trackable. We do this in two ways. One is in the way we design the flow. We have to design the flow so that we can track the flow. And the second thing is, if we've designed it properly, then on Data Studio, we should be able to collect all the data, the quantitative data. Qualitative data you can run interviews for. Once we've done these two things, we first test it with our internal team. So people can maybe find, loopholes, problems, dive deeper into a discussion, just kind of fine tune it a little bit. And once it's ready to go, then you test it with your target audience. So this is broadly the kind of process you have to follow when you're thinking of A/B testing. At this point, I'm going to stop and ask you guys if you all have any questions, or if you all are clear with all of this.
None from me, thanks.
Great. Okay, so what we're going to try and do today with a large part of the remainder of our time is simulate this, right? So we're going.
I can't hear you, Abhishek.
Can you hear me now?
Not sure if it's the same with the others.
KP?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, can the rest of you hear me fine?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Anuradha, maybe you want to just leave and rejoin. Yeah. I'm going to go back to, sharing my screen. So like I was saying, you can see it again, right? What we're going to try and do today is just simulate this entire experience, right? So we're going to try and, one, given this use case, we're going to try and create an A/B test. And then we're going to, once we kind of create the A/B test, we're going to do all of this. Then hopefully y'all can also try it out as users and see what the user experience will be. And with that, I will kind of just switch to my Glific instance and we can get started. So first, I'll just switch to this, right? So you can still see my screen, right, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in this, what we're seeing is the parent flow. Let me just zoom in a little. Okay. So this is just a dummy flow that I've created to simulate that use case of ours. So let's just assume that people come in, we say, hey, welcome to the chatbot. This is assume it's a Glific use case, right? Welcome to the Glific chatbot. This is how we help people. What do you want to know? How can we help you? And there are three options: explore features, explore use cases, understand pricing. And in the case when people pick explore features, we're sharing a video. Okay. And my problem is in this segment, whenever I share the video for features, people are sending no. That's my problem, right? So my idea on this is that I want to try out a different video. Maybe my video is not great. Maybe it's just not capturing their attention and making them want to learn more, right? So that's my hypothesis, that the video is not great. So I want to change the video and try a different video. Is everyone with me so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So what we're going to do then is we're going to have to create an A/B testing flow with another version of this video, right? So let's do that. Let me just one second. Okay, so I'm going to just create a flow. Okay, I'm going to 1 second actually. Yeah, I'm going to call the flow. Let's call it webinar A/B testing. Okay, and let the keyword for that also be webinar A/B testing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and configure this. And to begin with, we're just going to create our first node, which is the split by random chance node. Okay, so this is the A/B testing node essentially. This is the node you use to run an A/B test. When you have to select from the drop down, it's called split by random chance. When you check the top of the node, it says split randomly. There are options here, right? How many buckets do you want to create? So assume that I have maybe two new videos that I want to try out. I have my default video and I have 2 more videos. Then I would make 3 buckets, right? I can do this for up to 10 buckets. And so what I'm going to do here is assume that I've just created 1 substitute video. So I'm going to create 2 buckets. I'm going to say this is the default video and this is the new video. Okay. And this is my flow start. All right. And what's going to happen essentially is anyone who enters this flow, right? Any user who enters this flow will randomly either get the default video flow or will get the new video flow. Is that okay to everyone? Any questions around that?
Naya Swati raised her hand. Swati, please go ahead and ask.
Go ahead, Swati.
So first, if I want to start with A/B testing, there is a split randomly for A/B testing.
Correct.
And if I want to create a buckets, it's like a giving an option.
Correct.
If I want to make it 4 or 5, so it's giving an option with nodes.
Correct.
Okay.
So within the node, you have the option key how many buckets you want.
Can you
how many
click,
versions you want to test?
Yeah, can you click on that split by random choice once?
Yeah.
So there is a multiple option is available, right?
Yeah, so this is like part of Glific, Swati. So whenever you kind of create a new node, right? So if I just create any node, the default node is send the contact a message. And then over here, you can search for whatever you want, right? So I over here will search for split by random chance, and then I'll do 2 buckets. Is that okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay. 1 second. So I'll just go ahead then. New video. So we'll call this default video A. We'll call the new video B. Okay. Now to just kind of go forward with this, I'm just going to. So over here, I want to send them a message. I will paste 1 second. I'll paste the message that I have. From here. Okay. And over here, I'm going to add a label. Let's call it webinar ABA. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that. Okay. And over here, what I'm going to do is create another message. And I'm going to label this as webinar AB. So what I've done at this point is I've created the split randomly node. I've created one message that's going to users who will go to A, one message that will go randomly to users who reach the flow B. I've labeled them, and that's super important. I've labeled the A1 as webinar ABA and labeled the B1 as webinar ABB. What this enables me to do is track the data later. So I can check all the contacts who got this video, check all the contacts who got this video. And that's how I know, hey, these are the contacts who started my AB flow ka A side. And if they have this label, then I know that these are the contacts who started the B side of the, or the B branch of the flow. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead. If you have questions, you can stop me. Yeah. Now I'm just going to send them an interactive message, same as we saw in the default flow, which says what, no more. Yeah, so this is the interactive message. I'm not going to label this because it's not giving me any new information. And over here, I'll just do the same thing.
Nair, Anuradha has a question.
Go ahead, Anuradha.
She posted it on the chat. The two videos go to two different set of users, right? Yes, Anuradha. I'll go to like
Yes.
right now we are keeping two buckets, that is two different sets of users.
Got it. Got it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and Anuradha, the set of users is in the sense that anyone who comes here, assume 100 people come here, randomly, each person who enters has an equal chance of getting either this or this.
Got it. Understood.
That's the way that works.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, great. So I'm just going to go ahead and design the rest of this flow really quickly now. Yeah, so this will be a wait for response. At any point, if you don't understand what I'm doing, just let me know. This should be familiar, I mean, to all of y'all. So I'll wait for a response. Everyone who says no, I'll tell them, hey, thanks for reaching out to us. If you want to learn more, send us a hi message. Okay. Everyone who sends no will get the same message. If they send yes to my after seeing the first video, then I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a label, right, for the incoming message, and I'm going to call that, what was it, webinar success A. And over here, I'll do a similar thing, and I'll do label webinar success. Right. So what this enables me to do is that I can track how many successful results there were, right, from either video. And what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to check, hey, how many people entered this flow, right? How many started webinar ABA? And then out of those, how many got success? So that's my success rate for the first video. Similarly, how many had success B and how many in total saw the video B, right? And that's my success rate for the second video. Is that okay with everyone? I'll wait for 10 seconds and move ahead.
Yes.
Great. And so if they have said yes, then I will send them a contact message saying, great. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to terminate it there. That's just going to be okay. Right. So this is my flow broadly, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So if there's other, I can just loop this back. Other, I can loop this back. Right. So broadly, this is the flow. Of course, this would actually have to go and enter some other flow, but I'm not doing that right now. But this is broadly our A/B testing flow. Let me just kind of test it out, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit preview. And so what we see is over here, it's giving me the video A. Okay, I hit yes. And it says, great, thank you. I cancel it. I try again. Again, I'm getting A. So I'll say yes. I can say thank you. Why is it always giving me A? 1 second. Let's just try this. There we go. Okay. So on the 5th try, I got B. But essentially, that's the idea, right? It's random. So the first 4 times I did it, I got A. The 5th time I did it, I got B. As a single user doing this flow once, of course, I'll either get A or B, right? There's an equal chance at any point of time. So I've previewed it. I know now that it works. And so now the question becomes, so I've created the A/B testing flow. I know that it's working broadly. Now, how do I get this out to my users, right? So what we then need to do is go to our parent flow, our original flow, right? And we need to make a change here. So if you remember, when we started, I had mentioned that you need to decide who you're going to test this with, right? So assume that I'm going to test this with a collection of users. So then I'm going to over here, user split by collection membership, right? And I think it's called webinar test group. Yeah. So webinar test group, right? So everyone who's in the webinar test group, I want them to enter my A/B testing flow, right? So what was it called? It's called webinar. One second. Let me just reload this. It's not showing up yet. Oh, actually, the problem is that I haven't published this. Let me just publish and stay. Now it should work. Right. So all of the test people, they should enter another flow, and that flow should be webinar underscore A/B testing, right? And all of the other folks, right? They should continue receiving my default message. Is everyone okay with this so far? Okay, I'm going to go ahead. KP, just let me know if there are any questions at any point or hands raised. Yeah. And so this is the overall idea. So now what we can actually do is we can try this out, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you all to do something. Just let me think for a second. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you all to take your phones out and just quickly scan this code that you can see on the screen. and then you can just put it on the chat box when you scan this code, it'll open up your WhatsApp and there'll be a message that comes in your chat box. Just send the message. Once that's done and you get a response, just let us know in the chat box. We'll take like a minute for this. KP, let me know when I can go ahead.
Sure.
Thanks. Yeah, that's like a minute. Should we move? Do we have like 5 responses maybe?
Maybe you can just give a quick thumbs up in case you're done. Thank you, Prachi.
Okay, great. I think at least like 2 or 3 people have done it, right? So we can go ahead. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is again, take out your phone and scan the next thing. So not this, but this. Yeah, you can scan this code. And similarly, just send the message again and you'll get a response. And that will start a flow for you. Just go ahead and do that flow.
You have to click on explore features.
Yeah, thanks, KP. And when you get the flow, please select explore features because that's what will show you the video. Thanks, Sheetal. So let me also do it and see what I get. Ah, I see the problem. One second now. What we forgot to do, as I often do, is to hit publish. Publish and stay. Yeah, okay, now all of you can just try again. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, I'm assuming everyone's kind of scanned it and tried once. So I'm just going to now, sorry, continue to share my screen. And we can just quickly look at what's happened. Okay, so we'll go to our chats, right? So for example, we have Chris who entered Flow webinar A/B testing, right? And so you can see over here that that's me. Sorry, this is me. So I've entered it. After I sent the message, I went into webinar A/B testing A, and I got webinar success A, right? That's the label that I've got. Similarly, this has happened here. If you hit
I got
yes,
C.
yeah. So it'll happen for different folks, different things will happen. And what we can actually do through this, right? So now we've tested, we know it's working well. Initially, we made a mistake. We hadn't published it. Now we published it. It's working properly. And then my next step is to go to Google Data Studio, go to my contact by activity flow over here and search for my flow. Let me reload this. What is the flow called? Webinar A/B testing. Right? So I'll go to the flow. I'll pick the flow labels that I want to see. So I want to see this. Yeah, these are the flow labels I want to see, right? Success A. So no one got success B yet, but essentially I'll be able to track it over here, right? Anyone who's gone through any of the nodes, their data will show up over here. And that's how I can kind of calculate which has a higher success rate. Is everyone kind of clear on that so far? Great. So that's kind of the overall idea of A/B testing. Things to keep in mind within this are just that you need to do the following, right? Make sure you're only testing one thing at a time. If you test if you make 3 different changes to something, then you may not be able to attribute where kind of the user behavior is being impacted. So change small things like just change a video or just add a reminder. Don't both change the video and add a reminder. Make sure that users cannot re-enter the split randomly mode. So just like how we did this split by collection membership, right? You just need to tag them to another collection saying they've started the flow and then not let them re-enter the flow. Add your labels at every stage so that it's trackable. Make sure you do the pilot internally like we did to check that everything's working fine. And then keep on iterating till you reach that final thing that kind of works for you, right? So that's an overview of A/B testing. Besides this, so far with A/B testing, what has happened is that so Sheetal at KEF and Sibel from Antarang are here with us today. So both of them have run A/B testing pilots with their organizations. So at KEF, they ran a pilot to kind of check how to design their feedback flows best so that users kind of respond to it, right? And give them all of the information they need. And at Antarang, what they did is for the registration flow, right? So they had one registration flow with 3 questions and one registration flow with 5 questions, right? And they analyzed, which gets completed more. And as you might expect, it was the 3-question one. But even within that, I think they were able to identify which question was causing a problem, right? So similarly with KEF, they were also able to identify in their feedback form which question was causing a problem. They were able to do this by adding labels at each question and seeing where the drop-off is, right? So if 10 people start, after the next question, how many people are there? After the next question, how many people are there? So on and so forth, right? And with that, they've been able to maybe like pick and choose from the options they thought would work, right? Which option they want to go ahead with. One last thing I'll say before I open it up to questions is that when you're doing this, remember that A/B testing is for data analysis, right? Like it's a data-driven approach to flow design. right? But it shouldn't all be data. When you look at it and you see your data, after that, you should think to yourself, what questions do I need to maybe qualitatively ask my users, right? To learn from their qualitative experience. And then you put the two together and you make your decision on, hey, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do this. So yeah, that's everything from me. And I will open it up to questions that you might have for the Glific team. KP and I are here, or for KEF and Antarang on their pilot and their experiences with their A/B testing pilots. Yeah.
In case you want to also discuss different use cases on how you can use for your organization, you can check like, hey, is this possible? Is this not possible? Or like any ideas, so we can just share and discuss here.
I think we can use it like, KEF does, like for feedback. Also, we have a new project coming in which we'll be sending videos to students. And our experience with sending informative videos hasn't been good. So I think we should do some A/B testing there.
Yeah, definitely, Prachi. While you're doing, in case you need any help, we are always around. Anybody else? Swati, Asim?
I had one. I might be digressing a little bit here, but I think I know the split by chance feature was probably developed with A/B testing in mind, but I think it's a nice tool to use like as a randomizer. So, for example, just for fun, I made like a little, those magic 8-ball things which give you a random, oh yes, no reply to your questions. It can be used. That's just like a very use case, but
Yeah, no, valid. Yeah. That's super interesting. Makes it fun for the students, right? So Swati, Amit, Asim, any ideas on use cases for y'all? Sorry, Amit's with us. Swati, Asim. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
so just
Go
want
ahead,
to add
Asim.
thing that I mean I'm just telling very a general thing that we can get to know what are the reactions to what questions, like in when we are splitting two groups and asking some questions, so we can just know how people think if we are asking this and how people think if we are asking that. So that kind of stuff can be analyzed through this.
Absolutely. I mean, you can test whatever you want to test. Like in my example, it was a video. In KEF's case, it was a feedback flow. And in Antarang's case, it was the registration flow, right? But you want to, even if you want to test something as simple as, hey, if I phrase the question in this way, what's the response? If I phrase the question in this way, what's the response? That's also something you can test out, right? The idea is to get comfortable with it. I mean, to first understand its value. Second, to get comfortable with it enough for you to do this quickly and learn quickly from it, right? It shouldn't be, I mean, initially it may take you a week to run one thing, but after that, it should be like a 4-hour thing, deploy the next day, run it for a week, get the results and, learn from it, change, move ahead. So the more the more all the NGOs use it kind of more easily and frequently, the more value gets added. All right, I think we can close then with that. Before we do, KP, do you have something? I mean, just can you just close out for us? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Naya. Hope the session was useful, and we just wanted to let you know that from Glific, every month we are planning to conduct two sessions. One session would be at the beginning of the month, and which is more for a new user, like somebody who is not familiar with a Glific platform or like what Glific does, like what are the different use cases of Glific. So like I am assuming that everybody here currently are familiar with Glific. So in case you have any new team members joining in your group, like instead of you going through the whole thing again, like maybe you can just ask them to join where they'll get some fair idea of what Glific is. So that is something which will happen at the beginning of the month. So we will also keep on posting updates on that. So second session would be for the existing organizations who are already using Glific at a certain capacity. So this session would be level up with Glific, which would be conducted towards the end of every month. So one, it would be either about the new features that we are coming. Two, we are also looking for conducting other sessions which might be useful for the organizations, like, hey, how to write more engaging conversations with the for your users, how to make use of your data. So there would be a couple of sessions that we are trying to curate, which would be helping you to level up your game with the Glific. So that's the new level up with Glific. So so please watch this space. So this would be definitely useful for the existing organizations. We'll try to come up with things which would definitely take your program to the next level. So yeah, that's all about this. So we have one more poll question where we want to know your thoughts on what's your preferred mode of communication. So based on your preferred mode of communication, we would want to reach out to different organizations to ensure that more organizations are using this space and using Glific to its full potential. So can you please take a minute to answer this?
Like, how do you want to learn about things from us? That's essentially the question.
And in case you feel, hey, not these communication channels, there is some other communication channel which we are comfortable with. So just you can just say it out right now, or you can type it out in chat so that we'll explore like whatever is convenient for you.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's everything. KP, anything else that we're missing?
No, nothing from my end.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for joining. We'll share this video across, and you can share it with your team or whoever else finds this useful, along with all of the links to blogs by KEF, by Antarang, by us, and a feature video that explains everything we've done today in 30-45 minutes in 5 minutes. So you can share that across as well. Yeah. Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank
Nice
you.
hosting.
Bye,
Bye.
Krisha. Bye, Abhishek.
Bye, Swati. Thank you so much.
Bye.